What is going on YouTube, and we are back with another one. Alright guys, so it's that time where I'm coming at you with a couple of penny stock plays, have some fun in the markets, blow off a bit of steam. Now before I get to these plays, I'm going to need you guys to hit that like button for me, and if you're new, hit that subscribe button, join the movement. Now before we get this show on the road and jump into our first penny stock play for next week, there's one of our penny stock plays within the portfolio that I want to cover off with you guys. So we've got HITIF, ticker symbol HITIF. Now first off, I want to highlight this is still an OTC penny stock play, and we know recently Trading 212 have been slamming the brakes down on our OTC plays, and I do say avoid them for the time being until these restrictions stop being placed or they're lifted. But we're giving an exception to this play because they've got a very good future ahead of them and I like where the business is moving. And right now, Trading 212 seem to be leaving this play alone. Now I want to highlight you guys, they completed the acquisition of Smoke Cartel during the week, and this means that they now operate the largest and the second largest e-commerce platforms for the accessory side of the business, and this gives them good presence in the States. So this play is going places. As I mentioned to you guys, this is a double up candidate. You can see the way they're moving. Every time I give you guys a business update, they are just performing better and they're growing. That being said, they've also opened up their 80th retail store. Last time I mentioned to you guys, they opened up their 75th, and that was only last week. So you can see this one is an accelerated growth right now. The management team, they're driven, ambitious, and they're leading this one to success. That's why I say this is a double up candidate to have within your penny stock portfolios. Alright, so check this out. News has dropped just the other day that New York, they're one step closer to receiving their legalization status. This is very good for our plays like High Tide, but also plays like Growth Generation that are in our growth portfolios. Because as more states are legalized, that means there's going to be more customers, more opportunities to make revenues. We're going to see that stock price increase. So I wanted to put this one on your radar so you guys are well aware of the potential that we have within this play. So when it comes to entry point on High Tide, it remains the same as always. That's at the low end of 60 cents. So if you catch them at 61 or 62, that is ideal. Alright guys, so now you got the update on our portfolio play. Let's get ready for our first one. So our first one, that's ZW Data, ticker symbol CNET. Now we're revisiting this play after a couple of weeks after we've seen that stock price cool off. Now my stop limit was triggered and I was kicked out most of my holding in this one, but they still got good potential. You need to know they're just caught up in that market volatility right now. When it comes to being in a weaker market, it's the penny stock plays that are going to get slammed the hardest. That's why we've seen this play go from over $6 to below $3. But I like them because they're diversified in what they do. They've got exposure to blockchain mining, to live streaming, and even to esports as well. And either one of these sectors could do well for the company. As a matter of fact, just crypto alone, if we continue to see some momentum in the price of Bitcoin, that can send CNET stock price above $3 to $3.50 or even higher. So you guys got to know that. So now's a good time to remind you guys of the strategy when it comes to these penny stock plays with our 3 profit taking checkpoints. That's at 25% return, 50% and 100%. At each level, you're taking profit. It allows you guys to de-risk from the play and take profit. That's super important. Also, you're setting your stop limits on these plays. That's going to mean if there's any downwards volatility, it can cash you out and you can net the profit and you can move on to the next one. Now guys, you need to know there's a lot of different penny stocks out there. A lot of them make little to no revenues and a lot of them are based on speculation. This is a play that makes 50 million in revenue and on 80 million in market cap. This is looking good valuation wise. Also, if any of their business divisions do well, that's going to increase their revenue. So I wanted to put them back on your radar. Now guys, we don't want to be entering this play above 275, ideally below 250. So I wanted to put an energy play in the spotlight now because there's some good potential in the energy space. That's ticker symbol URG. This is a play that has potential both in the short term and the longer term. This is a uranium mining play, so they've got that connection to nuclear power. And that combination is untapped, so there's good potential for this one. Now you guys need to know this is a play that's well capitalized. When we say that, we mean they've got a lot of cash to fund their business and fund their projects. They did a stock offering just a month ago worth $15 million. Now check me out, this is a stock price over the last 3 months. As you can see, this is a volatile one, a lot of peaks and troughs, but an upwards trend in this price. So guys, we need to catch this one on that trough, on the weakness in the price. So currently standing at $1.24, we want to catch this one under $1.10 to ensure that we're at the trough before it rises to the peak. And as I say, you guys know we've got our checkpoints. So when we hit the 25% on this one, we take profit out of this play. Now talking about energy plays, this is an energy penny stock play I put you guys on a couple of weeks back. That's Cosmos Energy, ticker symbol KOS, currently standing at $3.24. So nothing to write home about that share price over the last couple of weeks. But what you guys must know is when we're in a weaker market, and we see those plays that are trading flat, that's a good sign. It means they're holding their own through the market weakness. Now, as we have economic reopening and as there's more demand for oil and gas, this is a play that should benefit from that, and we should climb up to that $4 mark. So that's why I put them on your radar. So again, this is one to be picked up in the market as an option for your penny stock plays. All right, guys, so those are the penny stock plays. That's HITIF, CNET, URG, and COS. And you got the strategy to go with. Now remember, with these penny stock plays, we use them as a way to blow off some steam in the market, have a bit of fun. Let's get it. Alright guys, from Morocco the channel, you know what time it is. Now this question comes from Stockmania. It says, Sankey, do you recommend putting your stop loss on once you're in a play? I'm down hard on some solid companies like Neo, ChargePoint, Plug, Jamia, etc. I don't know if I should put a 10% stop loss on once I buy. Before I used to put a stop loss on once I'm in some profit, but I'm not sure what's the best way to stop my portfolio looking like a battlefield in the future. Now this is a great question, and thank you for sending it in. It's going to help a lot of people out. First off, remember, setting these stop limits is easy, guys. Take a CNET for example. All you do is hit sell, head over to stop limit. You could choose the number of shares that you want to cash out if your stop limit is triggered, and then you have your limit price and your stop price. Your limit price is the absolute minimum price that you want to receive if there's any downwards pressure in that stop price, and the stop price is when it starts that selling process. So you'll get anywhere between the stop price and the limit price when there's downwards pressure and it cashes your shareholding out. So in terms of the timing of when you should set your stop limits on these plays, I'm going to give you guys 3 scenarios in which you should set your stop limits. So first, let's focus on our penny stock plays. I would set your stop limit as soon as you enter the penny stock play. That could be 10% or 15% below your entry price. So if there's any downwards movement in that stock price or any adverse news in that stock that sends that stock price down, you can cash you out. You could take a small loss, and I would avoid you guys bag holding a much greater loss of 30, 40, 50% or more in the play. Now if we switch over to our growth plays, there's 2 scenarios in which you should set your stop limits on them. And these are growth plays that you're holding long term, by the way. So the first time you should set your stop limit down is when you're in the green at least 10%. 10 or 15%, then you can set your stop limit at your average entry price. So if there's any downwards movement in that stop price, you can cash you out at break even. The second time you should set your stop limit on these growth plays is when you see that stock running up. So take a Neo for example. When Neo passed $60, that's a good time to set your stop limit at $60, because that way you can enjoy the upside if it continues, or if there's any downwards movement in that stock price, if it recorrects, you can cash you out and you can net that profit from that momentum up in that stock. So those are 3 scenarios that you guys should follow. Now the reason I wouldn't advise setting a stop limit on every single play, every single time you enter it, especially your long-term plays, is because some of these stocks are going to be triggered, and it's going to cause a lot of confusion for you guys, because you're going to be wanting to buy back into these plays at a lower price than you originally bought them into. And also a lot of these plays are going to slip out of your portfolio. You're going to have that out of mind, out of sight thing going on. So a lot of confusion is going to be caused if you set a lot of stop limits, and a lot of them are triggered. So that's why I say just use those 3 scenarios. So penny stock plays, when you enter profit on your growth plays, and when you see some momentum in your growth plays, those are the good times to set your stop limits on these plays. Alright guys, so that wraps things up. Do hit the like button for me, it helps the channel out. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button, join the movement. Also check out link down below to the Patreon. We can join our team of investors over at the Discord. Now guys, ahead of markets opening tomorrow, one last thing to say. Let's go!